are here today because of the fact that we have what most people consider unusual friendship, and it is, and yet it feels natural to us now. I first learned that my son happened in the World Trade Center. On the morning of September 11, 2001, we didn't know if he had perished yet until 36 hours later. At the time, we knew that it was protocol. We were afraid of what our country was going to do in the name of our son, my husband Orlando and I, and our family. And when I saw it, and yet through the shock and the terrible shock, and the terrible explosion in our lives, literally, we were not benchmark. And a couple of weeks later, when Jigras Musawi was indicted on 6 counts of conspiracy to commit terrorism, and the U.S. government called for a death penalty for him if convicted. My husband and I spoke out in opposition to that publicly. Through that and through human rights groups, we are back together with several other victims' families. And I saw Aisha in the media coming over when her son was indicted. And I thought, what a brave woman. Someday I want to meet that woman when I'm stronger. I was so in deep grief. I knew I didn't have the strength. I knew I would find her someday, where we find each other, because when people heard that my son was victim, I got immediate sympathy. But when people learned what her son was accused of, she didn't get that sympathy. But her suffering is equal to mine, so we met in November 2002, and Daisha will now tell you how they came about. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the mother of Jigras Musawi, and I asked the Organization of Human Rights to put me in touch with the parents of the victim. So they introduced me to 5 families, and I saw Phyllis and I watched her. She was the only mother in the group. The others were brothers, sisters, and I saw in her eyes that she was a mother just like me. I suffered a lot as a mother. I was married when I was 14. I lost a child when I was 15, a second child when I was 16. So the story with Jigras was too much really, and I still suffer because my son is like he's buried alive. I know she really cried for her son, but she knows where he is. My son, I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's tortured. I don't know what happened to him. So that's why I decided to tell my story, so that my suffering is something positive for other women, for all the women, all the mothers that give life. You can give back, you can change. It's up to us women, because we are women, because we love our children. You must be hand in hand and do something together. It's not against women, it's for us women, for our children. I talk against violence, against terrorism. I go to schools to talk to young Muslim girls, so that don't accept to be married against that were very young. So if I can save one of the young girls and avoid that they get married and suffer as much as I did, well, this is something good. This is why I'm here in front of you. I like to say that I have learned so much from Aisha, starting with the day we had our very first meeting with other family members, which was a very private meeting with security because it was November 2002, and frankly we were afraid of the super patriotism of the time in the country, those of us family members. But we were all so nervous. Why does she want to meet us? And then she was nervous. What did we want from her? What did we want from each other? Before we knew each other's names or anything, we had embraced and wept. Then we sat in a circle with support, with help from people experienced in this kind of reconciliation. And Aisha started, and she said, I don't know if my son is guilty or innocent, but I want to tell you how sorry I am for what happened to your families. I know what it is to suffer, and I feel that if there is a crime, but she reached out to us in that way, and I'd like to say it was an icebreaker, and what happened then is we all told our stories, and we all connected as human beings. By the end of the afternoon, it was about 3 hours after lunch. We felt as if we knew each other forever. Now, what I learned from her is a woman not a little bit generous. Under these present circumstances and what it was then, and what was being done to her son. But the life she said I never had met, from such a totally different culture and environment from my own, and I feel that we had a special connection which I value very much. And I think it's all about being afraid of the other, but making that step and then realizing, hey, this wasn't so hard. Who else can I meet that I don't know? Where that I'm so different from? So, Aisha, do you have a couple of words for conclusion? Because our time is up. I wanted to say that we have to try to know other people, the other. You have to be generous, and your heart must be generous. Your mind must be generous. You must be tolerant. You have to fight against violence. And I hope that someday we all live together in peace and respecting each other. This is what I wanted to say.